you want to talk just briefly about, you mentioned that your daughter has a chromosome issue. Do you want to talk about what it is? Because there might be somebody watching who could use this information.
Sure. So my daughter has Dup15q syndrome, which stands for duplication of the 15th chromosome, and it's on the Q arm of the chromosome. It's relatively rare, but not nearly as rare as doctors first thought. So we're part of an organization, my wife and I, our family, called the Dup15q Alliance. When we joined 5 years ago, my daughter was diagnosed when she was a little, just past 2 years old. It was only 300 families worldwide. It's getting closer to about 1,000 families right now. But the truth is, they feel like doctors now, we've got a great scientific advisory board, feel like there are thousands and thousands just in the U.S. that are undiagnosed. The main symptoms are, my daughter's autistic as well. That kind of goes hand in hand with the disorder. Many other people with the disorder they have seizures, there's cognitive delays, there's some physical, sensory, behavioral challenges that go along with it. But that said, we always look at it as you're more than all those little parts, right? It's first and foremost, my daughter's a sweet little girl who happens to have, in every cell of her body, an extra chromosome. And but she's, a wonderful little girl, and she's got 2 younger brothers that I think are gonna, be helping her. She's not always happy with them, but we'll be helping her, through life as well.
That's the job of a sister, not to always be happy with her brothers. She's rocking that. And we should note that you found out about this chromosomal difference because you had her tested.
That's right. So it was one of the reasons we believe that this diagnosis it's underdiagnosed is because with most chromosome disorders, there's often some kind of disformity, and that you can just kind of recognize someone looks a little different, and that symptom fits with a particular chromosome disorder. The kids with Dup15q syndrome look like the little Gerber baby. They're just sweet, beautiful little kids, and they don't have any kind of dysmorphia or anything like that. And so doctors often will just kind of put them in a bucket and say it's this kind of general undiagnosed thing, it's autism, it's something like that. And the truth is, when we went through and got genetic testing done, and through that they call it a FISH analysis, through that testing, we found out that that she had a chromosome that had been duplicated. The doctors really didn't know what that was. It wasn't until we had to meet with a team of geneticists to really understand what it was, because it was quite rare. And one of the reasons we started the Mighty was because we felt like we personally, my wife and I, learned far more about the diagnosis through other families than we did through doctors. I mean, doctors certainly have a place, and we hold them in high regard, but they just weren't very up to speed on what this diagnosis was or what this disorder was, because not a lot was known about it. When you've got hundreds of families who live with it every day, they can tell you far more about what they're kind of dealing with, what's helped, what hasn't helped. And it was really through that, when we look at healthcare, big picture, when you look at the websites out there, a WebMD or an Everyday Health, there's a lot of Wikipedia-like kind of information, which can be very helpful. But when you're looking at, caring for a child or a parent with some kind of, disorder, some family member, the stories of people who have been through that are sometimes far more helpful than just the dry information of what the medical condition is.
Right.
And so we saw a place where the Mighty can kind of fill that gap and really have stories about all these different aspects, people who are living with certain conditions or caring for people that live with those conditions, and telling the stories about them. And we think that can be really helpful. However you deal with it, whether you're an affected individual with something or whether you're the caretaker of somebody with a condition, we just felt like those stories could really help.